Hi, I'm Jameson Newlander, Alan Frog from the Lost Boys, and you're watching Frog Brothers Podcast.
That's what we do. We call it from a spooky ghost.
It's refreshment time, folks.
Are either one of these any good?
Do you like scary movies?
I don't watch movies.
I have to return some videotapes.
You have a TV? No. I just like to read the TV guide. Read the TV guide. You don't need a TV.
Books, records, films, these things matter. Call Michelle. It's the fucking truth.
Over 1,600 titles, each for rent at just $2 the first night, and only... Finish him.
I don't watch TV.
Yeah, but you are aware that there's an invention called television, and on this invention they show shows, right?
Watch a few movies, take a few notes.
Channels 18, 24, 63, 109, 87, and 1.
Welcome to the Frog Brothers Podcast with your hosts, Justin and Melanie.
Hello, and welcome back to the Frog Bros Podcast, episode 108. So, we got lots to talk about tonight. Lots
Way
of
a little
news.
more than 108, I think.
Yeah.
Wasn't that the weight?
Yeah, the
108.
Batman weight, yeah.
Oh, really?
About 108. That's kind of mean. He was body shaming her. I don't like that.
Mm-hmm.
What a dick.
Yeah, but he needed to know to save their life, or her life. So
They got away anyway.
Makes sense. I buy it.
So the big breaking news is that at CinemaCon,
They announced Venom 3.
yeah,
Venom 3. Yeah,
and the Batman.
I
2.
still haven't seen.
I haven't seen 1 or 2. Of Venom.
I haven't seen Venom 2 yet. I saw the first one a couple of times.
No, I have not seen either.
I will eventually, I guess, maybe.
The first one was like,
I'm on the up and
whatever.
up.
I mean, it's not the Venom everyone knows and loves. It's that ultimate Marvel
You
line
mean-
of Venom.
You mean the guy from that '70s show?
Topher Grace?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That Venom?
Eric
Yeah.
Foreman.
So, Sony also announced that
Ghostbusters 5.
Ghostbusters 5 is going to be
Ghostbusters 5.
The 5th movie in the ongoing Ghostbusters cinema franchise.
Well, it's the 5th Ghostbusters movie. Whether or not there's continuity is undeniable. So, we're already seeing the toxic trolls online and the men with fragile masculinity complaining and crying about, it's Ghostbusters 4. It makes me sad in my no-no parts that they accept and acknowledge the other movie. You're like, that movie came out in 2016. If you're still hung up on it and trying to bash it every free moment you get, you really, really, really need professional help.
Yeah.
I mean, they didn't call Afterlife Ghostbusters 3 anyway, so I don't know.
No.
Why they're like, this is 3.
It's
Call
just
that-
the
they
5th movie.
They love to call that Ghostbusters 3, even though there's a title.
Yeah.
Losers always whine about their best. Winners go home and fuck the prom queen.
And if you're one of the people, and I'm going to go back to this because I like it, the irony is lost on these sad, sad, sad men that, and there's some women too, I guess, but the vocal minority that hates Answer the Call, that just can't get over it, fails to see the irony that they would have caused Vigo the Carpathian to come back in life and choose New York.
Finish him.
Tasty attitude. Boneheads!
And they just look like they can't count.
Well, yeah. So,
2-5.
but I'm excited. Another Ghostbusters movie?
Yeah. I mean, you know.
I honestly thought we'd see a series or something be developed before we'd see another movie, but either way, I'm down for more Ghostbusters.
I think
content.
that's the route they should take for sure, whether they keep doing movies or not.
Well, I think the
It's,
MCU's kind of shown us that you can kind of...
Do both.
Yeah, you can do both, and it's going to be a very successful...
But Sony, who would their streaming platform be? They just lease out to people, don't they?
They do. They would need to find a long-term partner for that, so...
Netflix is looking for something. They're desperate.
Yeah, Netflix
probably.
is
They'd
looking
probably
for
pay up.
content.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Karate Kid, I mean, how well would that have done as a movie if they started up again at the movies versus doing their TV show?
The TV show didn't even start on Netflix either. It
No,
just,
YouTube.
yeah.
Yeah, it started on YouTube and already moved carriers, so that kind of shows you, like...
But I mean, would it have been as successful if they had done a movie versus the TV show? You know, would people be raving about it still? You know, they kept, you know, it's still popular and it's still being talked about versus if they'd done one movie that flopped.
That's something interesting to see. I don't know. I mean, we've got enough stuff to figure out. Like, speculation is rampant and wild right now, but they've also announced the Ghostbusters VR game for the Meta headset.
Yeah, we got 2 video games coming.
And then we got the other console game coming, so there's lots of Ghostbusters on the way. It's good stuff. I'm excited about it. Rewatched Afterlife the other night when my mom was in town. After I made her watch the movie Red State, which is amazing. If you haven't seen Red State, I would highly recommend it.
We'll review that one of these days.
So Alec sat this weekend out, but Nick and I spent the weekend doing Comic-Con, Planet Comic-Con here locally.
Planet Comic-Con, Kansas City, 2022.
It was a blast. Shout out to Sony Pictures for sending us some posters that we could give out for the Midland Empire Group. Lots of fans helped that. We were able to actually raise $368, I think, for donations that we were able
With
to
Venmo and stuff. I think it was about $380. But then Walking and Rolling had a secret financier that matched every donation, so we almost raised $800 for them then, essentially.
Yep. So it's pretty awesome. We were able to give that to them. Walking and Rolling's a local charity group, and
they build costume wheelchairs for handicapped children.
Wheelchair costumes are differently able kids. They're not just that. I mean, if you're in a walker or anything else too, they do some good variety of stuff. Typically, it's wheelchairs though, just because I think that's the biggest request.
Yeah.
But shout out to that project.
Over
That's awesome. Yeah, they've done 2 of those. Speaking of the con, though, I had a blast. I saw all the Ghostbusters personnel that was there, which was 2. Adam Savage was on site, so I met him on Sunday. Tried to see him Friday, but he was away from the table.
Take your drink.
So, you had to do mid-story. You know, you really got to build up that epicness.
A little dry mouth.
Had him sign one of my Aztec death whistles, and so when he finally came to the table, I blew into the death whistle, and of course I heard him from behind the curtain say yes. He was excited about that. And then there was people out there that thought it was one of the raptor chambers. They're like, oh, that's a velociraptor thing. And I'm like, you stupid
If you see it from the
bastard.
angle I'm looking at right now, from the underside, though.
Yeah?
Like, you could think that from a distance, because it's about the right proportions.
Oh, no, they just meant the sound of it, not the actual whistle shape
Oh.
when I blew into it, because this one works. So he signed it.
Demonstrate.
A Savage, amazing.
We don't need
good.
that shit in here.
No, we don't need it in here right now. I don't need to upset the mascot. So he signed that, so that was awesome. He really liked the detail and aging on there, so check out our Facebook and Instagram and all that if you haven't seen photos of it. And then Sarah Nato Cheney, who voiced some of the mini puffs in the film.
She did not voice all of them?
No, they had several people working on them, so
I did not know that.
I think just to have variations on it. So she signed a mini
did
puff
not know that.
image, and she is awesome to talk to. Adam Savage, though, was a real gem. I gave him a couple of our World's Fair coins, obviously one to take home and one to
give somebody love.
take with him everywhere he travels. Yeah.
Who gives a fucking shit?
I didn't get to go. So.
Yeah, Alec is all over here like, fuck you guys. No, but Adam Savage also told me about the Ivan Reitman Memorial that was going on Sunday night. I don't know if he made it back to L.A. in time for that or not, but there's probably a pretty good chance he could have.
Could have caught some of the goings on. What are you laughing about?
Nothing.
Alec is just over here like highlighting fucking buttons because he didn't go. What'd you do all weekend? Besides contemplate suicide in your existence.
You could have gone for one day.
No, I really couldn't have.
Why
Not right now, unfortunately.
not? If you had to
So-
sneak in, you could have gone.
And had you not bought those
No, I
dresses-
literally couldn't have taken that time off work. And he had, yeah.
He had the money too because he bought
Early
those Jurassic Park toys,
morning.
which would have been a one-day ticket for him.
Yes, I bought those toys.
Exactly. So he just couldn't take more time off work. So
Yeah.
it's all up here. It's more in here in the heart, and I just touched your breast. That was weird.
No, I'm very limited on time right now for financially, so
Very limited on time.
like
Well, you
5
got-
hours is a make or break thing.
You got 11 months till the next one, so put back $1 every day in your little piggy bank,
I don't remember asking you a goddamn thing.
in your Alf piggy bank, or whatever the fuck you got.
So we have any
I find it's best to stay out of other people's affairs.
I know you got a piggy bank.
debuted my podcast cosplay, which is pretty slick. Jacob debuted his Afterlife Proton Pack, which is awesome. The top comes off and everything.
Removable cyclotron casing.
Yep, and he had the cyclotron inside it as well.
And
so
his daughter was cosplaying as Phoebe.
Mm-hmm. You saying you
I had a cosplay.
You cosplayed as a 12-year-old Asian child.
He didn't tape his eyes like I asked him if he was going to.
Yeah, Nick was like, "You gonna tape your eyes?" I was like, "Jesus Christ!"
Not as in I was telling him
do
to.
you see how this might make
I was
us
asking
look
him
bad,
if he was
right?
gonna. But he did have his little wagon.
No, since I had the wagon and I had one of the new hose connectors, I just went ahead and made a podcast jumpsuit. Doesn't mean that I'm a podcast. It just means
You
I
just
have
wanted to
the
wear
jumpsuit.
tennis shoes with your.
It was, man. It was amazing. Friday, I was so lazy. I just wheeled around the wagon. I did wear I was kind of an asshole and carried 2 packs around for a while because I wore my hero pack and I wheeled around the spirit pack that I modded to the Phoebe pack, or the Spangler pack, I guess you could call.
And your wife cosplayed as Ghostbusters
2 Janine, yeah. And you finally had your slime blower debut.
Yeah.
So we had lots of Ghostbusters 2 love there.
And that's a pain in my assholes.
Yeah, Nick putting that thing on is like, holy
Yeah,
shit.
whole team.
It's like a team lift.
You know how much I sacrificed?
You sacrificed the whole weekend by working.
What else? What else did we do?
Oh, we had a fun weekend.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
just worked.
You're a mean one.
He hasn't even looked at our pictures.
Jealous much?
At least.
By the way, when you're telling these little stories, here's a good idea. Have a point. It makes it so much more interesting for the listener.
I want you to react to all 500 and whatever photos we have. God damn, that comes with a little tiny remote.
Mm-hmm. I got one of the basic fun Jurassic Park TVs that they came out with in stores. Alec didn't get this one because he doesn't like the way the TV looks.
Is that not era appropriate?
It's the flat screen style, so technically for 93 this is newer than that. This would have been perfect for the Lost World.
Especially because it looks like an early 2000s TV. But
and the TV stand on it does look like an early 2000s TV stand as well, right? The whole change to that style, so.
Well, fuck them.
But I mean, I like it. It's good for toy photography and such, and it's more Jurassic Park stuff. And as the new movie's getting ready to come out, like, why wouldn't we want to advertise it, talk about it? It's pretty neat. What'd you get, Alec? You found some Barbasol cans.
Yeah, I found these ones that are up front here. You can see them.
I picked up one of those myself. Oh, you got multiple of each can? Or did you bring my extra can in here?
No, those are both. I bought one in case you weren't able to pick one up, so
okay.
I'll just do something with it or keep it or whatever.
That is what I shave with when I do actually shave bare face.
Beard Buster?
The brand, I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I don't really know.
Barbasol Beard Buster, yeah.
What's Beard Buster do?
Bust your beard?
It's foamy.
It's extra foamy? Ooh.
Yeah, they got the aloe variety
It's good
too.
for
Thick
butt
leather.
lube too, if you like a nice minty butthole.
The aloe probably
Does it
tastes
sting?
better on pie if you're using it in replacement of whipped topping. No menthol?
Right.
Or for marshmallow fluff.
Regular or menthol?
Didn't they use menthol in Ghostbusters? Isn't that what I heard? For the marshmallow?
No, I don't think they did because it would burn your skin
That's what
easier.
I thought. I was like, why would they use menthol? But I thought that's what I heard.
Well, that's what I heard. Thanks, Nick. That was insightful.
I don't know.
Alec also got this Jurassic Park car instead of going to Comic-Con. And the Stegosaurus.
It's like I got toys coming out this week.
That's a Stegosaurus?
No, I don't see it here. You said you got it, though.
That was a while ago.
That's a.
Oh, it was?
That's a. What do you call that one?
It's a Parasaurolophus. Yeah. Parasaurolophus.
I gotta make it so
I think
difficult.
that's how you say it.
What's the layman word for it?
Dickhead.
What does he call it in Lost World? Elvis. Is that the Elvis?
Oh, it looks like it has a pompadour?
Yeah. The one with the pompadour. Elvis.
Mm-hmm.
Just call him Elvis.
Yeah, Jurassic World.
The
Jurassic
fat, bald
Park.
one. Friar Tuck.
So, funny story. If you haven't bought the Jurassic Park books, you can get a 2-pack of the books called Jurassic World. Wonder where they got the title for the movie reboot. It's the condensed version. Not condensed, but it's just the...
That's 1 and 2.
2-pack. Yeah, 1 and 2, because it's the Lost World Jurassic Park and... Or just the Lost World. The book doesn't say Jurassic Park in it. They did that in the movie for brand recognition. Gotta exploit it, you know.
Rip.
Yep. And so if you want the 2-pack of the book, you can get the Jurassic World book and confuse people. Be like, oh, you haven't read Jurassic World? Oh, the book's great. It's one of those things you should collect and act fucking arrogant and pompous with.
Does Chris Pratt do the audiobook?
I don't know if Chris Pratt can...
Pretty sure he was homeless at the time.
Yeah, I don't
Well, I meant a new audiobook.
I mean, legit, he was homeless at one point, so... You know, one of those success stories.
Oh.
Yep.
Suck sex
now he's
stories.
the biggest voiceover artist of all time.
Basically.
Speaking of, Mario got delayed till April.
Thank God.
Mario got delayed till April.
The Mario
and
movie.
James Gunn defended people trying to boycott Chris Pratt over things, and if James Gunn's defending you, like, that dude's kind of
Oh, I got delayed?
No, someone was just talking about recasting Star-Lord in the MCU with somebody else. And James Gunn, like, saw the Twitter exchange.
I'm okay with him being Star-Lord. I don't like him personally, but he's not cancelable as far as I know.
Yeah, that's fine.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't hate the guy enough to be like, he shouldn't be working. I just don't think he should be in as many roles as he's in. I don't like him that much.
Shouldn't probably be doing all these voice roles.
Yeah, the voice roles is like...
I would like to say I hope he gets eaten in Jurassic World Dominion, but it's not going to happen.
Yeah, they're not going to kill him off.
They're not gonna kill him that way.
I would love for him to die.
I would
Get
love...
eaten by fucking Blue. Blue just finally kills him and eats him.
You know that old Jurassic Park 4 script that leaked around about, like, turning people into dinosaur hybrids? I would love it if he merged with Blue, or they, like, cloned him and Blue together and made the dinosaur hybrid.
We become one.
Would it still be played by Chris Pratt?
Yes.
Chris Pratt.
If I give you the raptor, could I have Bryce Dallas Howard?
No. You're not allowed to have her.
So be it. On this day forward, she will be ours. Wife to you,
and Ginger to me.
and mommy to me.
Yes. You can never go wrong with mommy posting.
Yeah. I mean, who doesn't want a piece of that?
So, you
Straight
guys...
women and gay men want her still. Anyway, what?
I was going to say, so we got to talk some of these comments. The toxic Ghostbusters 5 comments.
I got some.
Alex got a nice little compilation here.
There are whole Facebook groups devoted to just hating on
It's a
Answer
compilation, if you
the
will.
Call instead of just moving on with your life. I said, why don't you celebrate all the new Ghostbusters things instead of hating on a 6-year-old movie?
Yeah, and maybe if you actually went out and bought some of the merchandise.
We know you love things that are
We
6
get
years
some more
old,
cool stuff.
but you need to move on.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, first what I have is not even Ghostbusters related. It's
Well, we already started
the Halloween thread.
Oh, jump into it, yeah.
So the Halloween thread, somebody posted in... I mean, I have to hit up YHS Group Therapy and let you know that that's where this happened.
Yeah, there's
There's
a lot of
there's
things
limited
going on in there. That we've seen.
limited amount of people who will even know. I think the comments might have just been hidden, like the thread.
Oh.
Or were you able to see all the comments when you looked?
No, that guy had blocked me previously. I saw it on another account, though. He and I had gotten into it on the Ghostbuster pages, I guess. This is what I do with my spare time.
Somebody made a post
When we're not here.
At work.
Somebody made a post about Halloween Kills. Finally saw Halloween Kills. It was garbage. Blah 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 blah. Which is fine, you know. That's a perfectly valid opinion. I pretty much thought the same thing, but I still had fun watching it.
People in there thought it was one of the better Halloween movies.
I mean, the kills are really entertaining,
kills, yeah.
but then there's lots of problems with that movie. Like,
I shouldn't have to be so annoyed to see
evil dies tonight.
Yeah, that's just
Yeah.
And then the whole plot at the hospital, like, come on. But I just commented, I mean, there's been 2 good Halloween movies, Halloween and Halloween 3. That doesn't mean I don't like the rest, but they're not good films, you know what I'm saying? So a guy just commented and said, I have never heard someone say Halloween 3 was good.
Are we going to say his name?
It's Timothy, I'll say that at least.
You know who you
Because he's going to come on and review Halloween 3 with us. I said, you knew around these internet parts? I feel like that's not a super uncommon belief among horror fans.
Yeah, he's not up to date on things because it's had a resurgence.
And then I just shared an article from Blumhouse where Jason Blum was interviewed, and he was just talking about Halloween 3 and how it's underrated. And I was like, I would like to do a sequel to just that one.
I mean, now in hindsight, it's unfortunate that it's called Halloween 3, but
it is what it is.
Right. At the time, they were going to do different stories every movie. But
he said, far from new, but most people who review this movie have always considered it the worst in the franchise. And I said, I mean, we'll have to agree to disagree. I'd rank it number 2. It's number 3 on this Screen Rant list, and it's number 5 out of 12 on Rotten Tomatoes if you go by score.
And it's way better than Resurrection. I don't know how you can.
And then
gymnastics.
He said, I said most people. And what he said was, by the way, most people who review this movie have always considered it the worst in the franchise. Who reviews movies?
Reviewers.
And critics. And websites. And, I mean, those are all hand in hand. That's literally like people who review movies and critics post them on websites and news articles and things like that, you know. Mm-hmm. I don't pay attention to most critiques or sites that post about reviews, as most are BS in their assessments. Personally, I rank it dead last, like most people I have seen discuss it. Hard to call it a Halloween movie when the franchise's main character is absent.
Exactly, but that's the thing. You can't compare it to other Michael Myers movies. Like, oh, there's no Michael
Clearly,
Myers.
this individual has no fucking knowledge.
Like that, there's no Jason
franchise.
in Friday the 13th. What is it, 5?
5 is great.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but
and
you can still call it a Friday the 13th movie.
But in Halloween 3,
and
Michael
Friday
Myers
the 13th, hello.
In Halloween 3, Michael Myers is a movie character because they have a trailer in the movie for the first movie.
I said, I mean, you can hate it as much as you like, and I'm not going to change your mind. I said, I quoted him, I said, most people who review this movie have considered it the worst in the franchise. I said, it's just wrong, based on the Rotten Tomatoes scores ranking, which is literally just an average of scores based on people's reviews. It has no agenda.
Yeah, what's the ranking for Resurrection?
It's like, literally like, less than 5%, I think.
Yeah, and I'm
like
sure
it's
3
insane.
is higher than that.
3's like in the 30 or 40% at least. I said Season of the Witch is a breath of fresh air in what is perhaps the most convoluted movie franchise ever. If your complaint is that it has no Michael Myers, would you still think it was a bad movie if it was just called Season of the Witch?
And half the movies don't even take place in the same continuity anyway.
Either way, I'd rather watch it every day, all day, until I die than watch Resurrection ever again.
Yeah, Resurrection's dumb.
Rotten Tomatoes is well known to be inaccurate, as it allows anyone to review with no confirmation it's been seen and allows them to review spam. But yeah, have fun trusting a known inaccurate site. Actually, yes, the entire premise of Season of the Witch was more comedy than horror. Again, that's not even a problem. It's a horror comedy, if you want to look at it that way.
Wasn't he the one that cited the reviews, saying it's the worst review?
You're in a group called Yes Have Some. That is a podcast that is about a movie, obviously, that's a reference to a Ghostbusters, which is horror comedy, and you're complaining about horror comedy.
Well, this individual doesn't realize that on Rotten Tomatoes, and just like many of the movie review sites, there's a critic score by industry professionals, which, whatever, I get that can be off sometimes from the general audience, but they pretty much always show you the audience score as well on all those places. Mm-hmm. So you can choose from both of those. So.
Also, you don't have to agree with them, but it is interesting to know them.
Yes.
I find them fascinating, but I don't base that, I like fucking Pauly Shore movies, dude. You think any of those are ranked good? Encino Man, probably the highest, but I said you can't just log in Rotten Tomatoes and alter the main score. The only one you can even vote on is the audience score. Seems like you just want to argue. Anyway, enjoy the much worse sequels. I'm going to have to say goodnight.
I'm going to have to say...
That's why I said it. I was thinking that in that voice. I'm going to have to say goodnight.
Well, then he just starts communicating in memes.
It gets worse, yeah.
He stop talking altogether.
He said, sorry you dislike the reality that most consider that movie as trash. And then I shared a meme that's
it's pornographic in nature, but
it's not even technically a meme if you want to be technical about it. But it's literally just a picture of a woman getting fucking railed.
Oh, yeah.
And her face is like this. That's my impression. And it says, oh, fuck, you're going to make me cyberbully. And cyberbully is pasted over what she clearly said was cum. There's a picture.
Or squirt.
Of the fellow.
This guy, well, yeah.
That's Sunday.
I'm not going to show his picture or anything, Jesus.
No, but there's an individual photo
Okay,
where this
yeah.
guy shows himself in a bathroom taking a
Parental
picture of him in
advisory.
his suit, and he had a fucking parental advisory logo on his fucking, like...
That's him at Steak and Shake on Sunday after church.
Probably. It's fucking
That's a
sad.
Steak and Shake bathroom, I'm pretty sure.
So he then shares a picture that says, Horton here's a bitch-ass liar, which doesn't even... Where's the context, or what does that mean? What does that mean in response to what I'm saying?
He thinks you're lying about cyberbullying him, but, like, if I
Well,
walk
of
up
course
and-
I was. That's the joke. I'm not about to sit here and argue with you, dude, but then I had to, like... It's a weird, freaky
Well, a lot
thing.
of his memes had no relation to anything being said.
I just feel like looking at that guy's photo, he's been bullied his whole life. You've been bullied your whole life.
You have been bullied your whole life.
And
He probably bullies because he's been bullied.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Like, you have been bullied your whole life. And, like, that's why he's a dick on here, because he wants to be right finally. But it's like, you have a fucking
And then-
photo where you put a parental advisory sticker on yourself.
Some old man
Fuck off.
named Wolf Hardfin comments.
What a dick.
and,
What kind of
and
name is that?
basically says, you're just parroting what you think is the trendy thing to say, even though that Halloween 3 has a cult resurgence. You need to get with the times. And then he says back, no, I am stating what I have since I first saw it as a preteen. I don't know what he's saying. I sort of get it, but like not really. Halloween 3 is utter garbage that should have never been greenlit. The movie was complete and total failure with a bad story that's more comedic. It has toy lines coming out now. That's not a failure. It's a cult film.
No, they just released this year the fucking Halloween 3 Season of the Witch Ouija board, which is fucking phenomenal. That thing is beautiful.
Wolf Hardfin said, well, the two of you have so much in common then. And then that guy laugh reacted it. And
he
Wolf
laugh reacted
Hardfin
everything.
came back with, what do you keep laughing about? Did you just look at your dick?
Now see, somebody else just jumps in and makes fun of him for you.
And then he comes back with, the two of me? Brah, I am but one, and shares a Highlander gif.
Yeah, I was saying you, or
God.
Wolf was saying you, and the movie has so much
The
in
two
common.
of you, as in you in the movie. Are you making a joke, or is this your actual cognitive ability? And then he says back, I am still laughing at you claiming that shit is the best Halloween movie. And then shared a picture that says, that's a lot of words for I've never made a girl come. Which is like, oh, buddy.
Oh, yeah, I've seen you. The only girl you made come was...
Her mom on the way out.
Well, yeah,
She's into that
later
kind
on,
of thing.
Later on, Wolf accuses him of being an incest child. And then when he turned 12,
Look at this
his mom-
boomer ass memes. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I hurt your feelings? The Wonka.
Yeah.
That's really old. That's like the original.
And I came back with Buzz Lightyear saying, you are a sad, strange little man, and you have my pity.
It's classic.
Let's see. Oh, no, I haven't. Wolf Hardfin said back, no, I haven't made a girl orgasm because I'm a homosexual. Ask your dad.
That's amazing.
And the guy just came back with a picture that says circular logic. Argument has no supporting evidence.
What the fuck was that about?
I don't even know. They don't even make sense in the context of the
He's
argument.
just going through his meme folder and just clicking.
Wolf Hardfin says back, now you're communicating exclusively with pictures like a caveman. Show me on the doll where my meme hurt you, he shared. And then I replied back to Wolf Hardfin with a picture of the monkeys worshiping the monolith in 2001. And then I tagged him and said, memes are a ban-worthy offense in this group, sir.
But he's still in there, YHS. Why haven't you banned him?
He is in there.
Because he's mentally handicapped and they can't. It's discrimination. I kind of feel bad we're making fun of this
Well,
guy.
not to jump ahead, but in another group, he was defending Answer the Call, so go figure. He's like,
Maybe.
it is the fifth movie.
Maybe he just likes to argue. I don't know.
Probably.
All I can tell you is that the Halloween Season of the Witch he watched, which happened to be his mom getting railed by the neighborhood fucking repairman, is not the Halloween 3 that I watched.
Wolf Hardfin replied, I'll show you on your dad where I made him orgasm. And then in parentheses, it was his butthole. And then I replied to myself when I said memes are a ban-worthy offense with a Ninja Turtles gif that says, get him out of here. And then he did another, like, just gif of some random shit. You remember that? What the fuck was that?
Oh.
I can't even see what it was, but
None of
it says, "Show me something something," and Wolf Hardfin says, "I'm not going to help you find your micropenis." And he says back with a meme that is a picture from Princess Bride, which we reviewed recently. You guys should go check that out. That was episode 106, maybe. That's a really good movie, but this guy has no right using this. And it's not even a quote from the movie or anything. It just says, "Logic, rationale. You keep using these words. I do not think they mean what you think they mean." Right? And then Wolf Hardfin replied back, "Who found you in the dumpster after your mother and uncle father threw you in there?" And you weren't banned either.
Wolf wasn't. Not by Facebook or the group.
And then I shared that was a gif of Darth Vader, and it says moderator, and he's lifting his finger like this, and it says ban on his hand. And then it says user, and it's the guy getting choked. Of course he didn't get banned, but then he replied, like, trying to tempt me into banning him like I had any powers or was claiming that I was a mod or something.
Oh, maybe that's what he thought.
And I said, I'm not a mod, but stop adding me.
Atting you?
Stop adding me.
Atting.
Though I'm trying to watch Prawn, and your notifications are killing the vibe.
You meant to say.
Yes. The, very graphic
Reproductive
shit.
videos. Educational reproductive
Pretty much.
videos.
And then he shared, he added me like 2 or 3 more times because he thought I was serious or something. I'm like, I'm just trying to literally get you to shut the fuck up at this point. And then Wolf Hardfin tags him again and says, "Did your uncle father get jealous that when you turned 12, your mom started fucking you instead of him?"
Oh, man.
Moderation isn't very good in this group.
There's usually not much of this shit going on in there, to be honest with you.
Right, no, there's not.
Like, when Alex said this, I was like, this had been in the middle of the fucking night.
He joined a month ago in this group, so. Wolf Hardfin says, "Well, unless you can show me where I posted a meme, then..." Because he said something about...
Yeah, he accused both of you of using a meme.
Yeah.
Even though Wolf never posted anything but his own text.
And then he started sharing some anti-God stuff, like he thought we were Christian.
Why do you think that?
I don't know. But do you remember that? Like, there's one.
I didn't even look through this thread.
I think I stopped looking after that.
Yeah, I never even got that far into
But that
this
other Ghostbusters group where he's defending Answer the Call, I was like, "Oh, you do have a brain." He's like, "Yeah, but Halloween 3 is still the worst Halloween movie, so he remembered me."
Wow, that's fucking hilarious.
I said I didn't post a meme either, technically speaking. Pictures with text do not equal memes. Anyway, what's up with you lately, man? You seem off. Everything okay at home?
What is a meme? Just a really popular...
A meme is basically a joke that changes slightly every time.
Oh, okay.
If it's a one-off, it's not. But that's why there's meme formats.
Okay.
Those are memes.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Okay.
And if it changes and is a joke that continues on, it doesn't even have to be text and pictures. It could
Like
be
if you
literally like when you're joking with your friends and you continuously slightly change movie quotes or something, that you're memeing.
But if you make your own picture with words, it's not
And
a meme.
Richard Dawkins, the famous atheist who wrote The God Delusion, coined the term meme in the 70s. So congratulations, everyone.
Well, there's a point against him.
And then I said, "Worried about you, buddy," and I shared a link for BetterHelp.com.
I do that a lot, too. Like online therapy.
And that was the end of that. I actually don't even have anything Ghostbusters comment saved. Do you, Nick?
Yeah, if you want to go down that rabbit hole.
I mean, it's just the same vitriol we've always heard about.
It's the ones that are in here that you sent us. I can look at those.
Well, for context, there's an original Ghostbusters fan group, and it's supposed to be no Answer the Call, Talk Aloud. So someone created a original Ghostbusters fan 2 that's specifically for bashing Answer the Call.
Yeah, let's read some of the comments. Here's a big thing you posted about it. It's a comment thread. "They are scared of facts, honesty, and truth. They blindly put feelings at the top of the virtue hierarchy. I was banned from the official GB page that I had followed for years when this shit came out, as they deleted everything." I mean, nothing good there.
I mean, it's the same old, same old. Everyone just complaining about Answer the Call.
Anybody defending Bitchbusters, a total crap fest, isn't a Ghostbusters fans.
Yeah, these guys are openly sexist about it. I got banned from that group.
All ATC fans are sellouts and ass kissers. They're toxic to the fandom. I'd like to fuck this guy's dad and videotape it and send it to him.
I mean, you probably could.
I mean, I probably could.
But even if
I'm sexy.
Even if your complaints about Answer the Call are justified, you're just making it toxic and unwelcoming to everyone. They're going to be like, this is how this
It reminds me of that guy who had the jug of Paul Feig's tears.
Oh,
and then
yeah.
Justin changed it to Paul Feig's semen.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
And they were drinking it?
Yeah.
Yeah, and the guy was drinking it. Yeah, you're like, huh. I mean, if you don't like it, just let it be. Like, there's plenty of movies I don't like, but I don't go around on every fan page for the movie and be like, you know what?
It hasn't.
You know what? When I think of Cobra Kai, I don't immediately think of, you know what? Fuck Jaden Smith. That's not my first thought.
Yeah.
Fuck Jackie Chan, that
You know
goddamn
why
bastard.
nobody talks? Because no one talks about that movie. They're keep talking about Answer the Call and keeping it in people's heads.
Right.
Well, they're just scared that. Okay.
Scared of being a nobody.
It didn't ruin the franchise. It doesn't matter. Just get over
But we
it.
do
It
have
kind of saved it, so eat a dick.
We do have some breaking news, though. The breaking news is that the 5th Ghostbusters installment is a sequel to Ghostbusters
Answer the Call.
Answer the Call, and the team's going to face
Air
off
Bud.
against Gozer. And guess who's reprising their role as Gozer?
Paul Rubens.
Him
That's what I was
too.
gonna say.
That'd be amazing.
I would see that. He can be that. It's a different universe.
Can we just make a movie about Gozer that's Paul Rubens as Gozer?
These Ghostbuster guys are kind of weird.
That's Bob.
Fuck you, Ghostbusters.
I know,
That's
it is,
Bobcat
yeah.
Goldthwait.
Oh my god, this Ghostbusters kill me.
No, that's we're just thinking like if they made another.
Are you a god?
Yeah.
I know you are, but what am I? That whole shit.
I mean, I just think that'd be amazing if they didn't answer the call sequel, and that's what the villain was.
Yeah.
And Olivia came
well,
back.
they
as
should
Gozer.
have a cameo from the Answer the Call people for.
And everyone's like, they're not doing a multiverse in here yet, and you're like, oh my god, come on, people.
Everybody's multiversing now. It's so fucking trendy. It's such a weird thing, isn't it?
I mean, I don't mind it at all because then you're like not tied down to storylines and shit. But whatever.
It is weird though. I mean,
yeah.
it's weird that it's just the common thing now.
Yeah,
but
it's prevalent in the comics, so it works with the DC and Marvel.
Well,
but,
that's fine. But I'm saying, yeah, but it once you extend it to shit like Ghostbusters or
which that is in those comics, the Ghostbusters comics. It's already established. With
in
those-
the IDW series, but stuff that's
and
outside of these.
you know how many
kind of
people are
realms.
saying, "I hope Kylie's in the next movie." Is working at Ray's bookstore. No, I don't want to see that comic shit in there. If Kylie's in there, I want the Extreme Ghostbusters. I want Garrett and Eduardo and Roland. I'm sorry. I don't just want the hot goth chick that none of these fat bearded fucks have a chance with. Fucking neckbeards.
That's interesting.
Go watch some goth girl porn because that's as good as it gets for you, buddy.
Do you think the Answer the Call cast would even come back?
Probably not.
After
Leslie
dealing
Jones
with
would
all that crap?
fuck right off. She's not coming back.
Yeah.
Unless they gave her a lot of money.
Yeah, I just don't.
But no.
I don't
think
think they.
giving them a lot of money. So,
Well, yeah, I don't think she would just. I think she's over this shit.
The amount of harassment and
Yeah, exactly.
just to your mental health and well-being, like why would you put yourself through that unless the paycheck was worth it? Because
There's a steady paycheck in it. Blah, 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 blah.
exactly.
What's that from?
It's from The Abyss.
Winsta on.
I just read a
ZD
tape behind you.
My back still hurts from this weekend.
Geely Veli.
Beeline.
This is a snakeskin jacket.
And then everyone's already like speculating what the new movie's gonna be, and you're like, slow your roll.
Please don't say anything that gives Sony the idea that Vigo coming back isn't remotely a good idea.
I
no,
haven't
that's
seen
that.
any of
Well,
that.
that was the other thing I was gonna
No,
get
well,
at.
some people
though.
are like, well, if they they're like, it'll be okay if they do it, kind of thing. Don't.
Here's the thing, though, that people are already still talking about, and
both actors are dead. Just leave it alone.
everyone out there wants to act like Afterlife is flawless. And we've been very honest with our opinion of it. I still love the movie. I've still enjoyed it every time I've seen it. But there are plot holes and other things like that that need explanation. And now people are starting to say, I hope they don't retread on Gozer or old villains again. I hope they don't do that again. And you're like, well, wait, I thought that movie was perfect. So you're saying that there's things that could have been improved.
Mm-hmm.
So you're telling me that we were honest to begin with, and other people were in denial. Now that they're getting more, they don't want to do more of what they had before. No more member berries? Captain Crunch member berries?
Yeah, you're not getting Bill Murray again.
You don't even need Bill Murray
I'm not
again.
saying, I'm just saying to these people, you're not getting Bill Murray again. It
would be like a 5-second cameo.
No, Bill Murray's not coming back now. He's he's in the process of being canceled.
If anything,
Ivan
in the court of
Reitman,
public opinion.
Ivan Reitman's gone. Harold is gone. Like, Bill Murray's probably fucking done with this shit now. Like, Jason's going to produce it, but he ain't going to be directing it. So there's another reason why Bill's not coming back.
Unless there's a do it for Ivan manipulation involved.
Do it for Johnny.
That's if he's not even canceled. He's in the court of public opinion right now, and I don't know if he's going to make it out.
I don't know. He might be too loved to cancel.
I mean, they canceled that whole movie, so that's a big deal. It makes me wonder what the motherfucker did, but I don't know.
Were they early in production? They were already filming, right?
Well, how does that
Well, yeah,
feel
he had to
for
be on set to be...
Aziz Ansari, who's already been canceled once, and now his whole movie gets canceled because somebody else is getting canceled. Like, that's some convoluted bullshit right there.
Mm-hmm.
But
Speaking of canceled, are we going to get a Batman 3 with Michael Keaton instead of this Flash shit because Ezra Miller's beating everyone in Hawaii's ass?
Yeah, Ezra Miller can't control his temper, and everyone's like justifying him like for the last time, keeping him on. They're like, "Oh, he's fine." You're like, "No, he's mentally unstable too."
They fired the guy who played Cyborg because he was critical of them.
He was.
Oh yeah.
And that is a fucking stand-up person right there.
That's a whole different story for them. They don't
Yeah.
want somebody who's critical of
Mm-hmm.
them.
You know what I want to see?
They want women beaters, though.
But he's already completed a movie they haven't released yet, so they're trying.
Here's the problem, though. They haven't put Ezra Miller with Amber Heard in a movie yet because those two could fucking duke it out. They're both fucking abusive psychopaths.
Have you watched any of that?
They were in
The
a
Johnny
movie
Depp
together.
clips?
Yeah.
I mean, we're not going to spend a whole time on that or anything, but the funniest part is some of the random clips where he's like, yeah, the guy's showing him a picture of him passed out on the couch with melting ice cream in his lap. And he's like, is this you passed out on the couch? He's like, well, you know, another word for it might be asleep on the couch.
Yeah. Yeah, he's not passed out
Well,
on the
then
couch.
they're like, sometimes you have whiskey at 11 a.m., don't you? And he's like, well, isn't it happy hour every?
I've already seen some amazing
every hour
shirts for
happy
that.
hour.
What's funny is he's actually kind of
he should go
depressing degenerate, you know, but like,
He is, yeah.
but he's still winning the public opinion because it's coming off so charismatic and hilarious when he's saying this shit.
Well, and her
He's
attorneys
truthful.
are
Yeah,
very
I looked
competent,
over.
too.
I looked over on the couch or on my side of the bed. And there was human fecal matter.
Yeah, I listened to that whole 30-minute segment, the whole 30 minutes of fecal matter today.
Human fecal matter.
And he's like trying not to laugh, and like you catch himself, and he's like, "How did you feel when you saw that?" He's like, "I laughed because basically, his answers are kind of silly, but you know, because the concept of my wife shitting in the bed to spite me is fucking hilarious. That she's that demented and deranged that's where she went." And like he just couldn't say
This
that
is
in
a
court.
full-grown woman, yeah.
Yeah, this is a grown-ass woman in her 30s that
This is a famous person.
pulled her pants off and literally shit on a bed
They probably made a sex
to
video
prove their point.
where she pooped.
Without Johnny, wait till that drops out.
Drops out.
Oh,
Plunk.
That'll be hot. I'll watch it. I'll watch her poop.
But I mean, everyone,
I don't
it's
care
like
if she's canceled. I'll watch her poop.
Johnny Depp's eccentric, and I like how he's like, I grabbed her by the shoulders and placed her on the bed. And, you know it's fucked up. I mean, it's all fucked up there, but I mean, that woman was like literally attacking him and then shits on the bed. You're like, if that doesn't explain it all to you right then and there.
I'm pretty sure back when you were like 22 in that age range, you used to threaten to shit in people's beds. So
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's a fucking.
I know. I'm just saying, but like,
it's
I
a
recall
hilarious thing to do or talk about when you're drinking alcohol because poop
I'm gonna
never
shit in
stops
your
being
bed.
funny. It's Johnny Depp. He even laughed at the concept of that. And then I loved it as today things were winding down. Like the big concept that's coming out now is that he was recording her saying, you know, like no one's ever going to believe you because you're a privileged white man. And he's got recording of her saying that no one's going to believe you.
right.
And you know, he's like he doesn't deny.
Well, a
being
lot of people don't realize what this case is either. It's
defamation.
Yeah, it's defamation. So it's like not proving other things other than the defamation.
Yeah, the divorce is already settled.
But it is changing the public eye 100%.
Yes.
I mean, even though the public was pretty much already on Johnny's side, so.
Yeah, but film studios were still choosing her over him.
Well,
Right.
I mean,
She's in Aquaman too, as far as I know.
Yeah, but
which I guess for an ocean
I
dweller.
guess that's a win technically because that's a lot of money.
Can you
know,
shit
but
the
like
bed
also
and-
that's a loss.
We need to have that covered in Aquaman too. Can you shit the bed when you're underwater, or does it float away?
That depends on the.
Who shit the bed? Episode of It's Always Sunny.
I know, and Frank did it on purpose. It's
Yeah.
Amber Heard.
No, I did it. I did the shits. I did the poops. I even did another one while we were wrapping up here, and there's shit on the floor.
Depends on the fat content if it floats. So she had a fat, greasy cheeseburger.
She got a fat ass.
It's gonna float.
I know. And then like her face the whole time. The video I watched like had Johnny Depp his deposition and
His
then
deposition. Oh my god.
Yeah,
that's hilarious,
exactly.
Dustin.
Oh.
Yeah.
His Johnny deposition.
And then Amber Heard's just sitting there like straight faced, and then he's talking about the poop, and she looks horrified, but she's trying to fight it. You're like, yeah, you shit in someone's bed and rage.
Eventually-
Like, you rage shat the bed.
Isn't
Like,
it
what
her
the
bed?
fuck
Well,
is wrong
listen,
with
I
you?
didn't finish the ice cream story where he's passed out.
Oh yeah, good back.
So
to
he's passed out on there. Well, another word for that would be asleep. That whole thing, and the lawyer's like, "Okay, well, what is that in your lap there?" And he's like, "Oh, that's melted ice cream. It's like a little pint." And he's like, "That actually, I wasn't even eating the ice cream. I was watching TV and fell asleep." But Amber placed the ice cream when she was finished with it in my lap, and left it there to melt, and then thought it would be funny to take this picture of me, I guess.
Yeah, I love his explanation.
And he's like, I was actually noticed my hands in my pocket. I was reaching for something when I fell asleep or whatever. And he's like, I was also on opioids, so. And they keep trying to bring up his drug use.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, drugs are cool. Like, not really, but like pretty much. Like, yeah, I do drugs. Like, fucking, sorry. Whatever. I'm not on trial here.
She's at Coachella. It's the perfect time for me to go and get my things from her house. And he like fucking name drops celebrities who like Thompson and all this nice stuff he didn't want her to ruin out of the house.
Or how he, I gave Marilyn Manson a pill because I wanted him to shut up. Classic.
So crazy fucking week, people.
Fucking times are weird. Like, legit, the internet has just made the world a weird place. So
put some magnifying glass on it.
Everything, yeah.
Like, there's always been weird shit, but we just didn't know about everything.
Yeah, normally you wouldn't find out about a celebrity's wife shitting the bed in spite of him.
Yeah.
After she attempted to beat him, and she hit me once, and he goes, and he like pretended to punch and like does all that. And the second time he's a little less theatric with it, but you done? You want to do it again? You feel bad for that guy, and you're like, man,
it's a good segue.
Yeah, exactly. Let's segue out of this. Let's jump into the next piece.
You know how much shit is over there you're about to knock over?
I'm not knocking anything over. This is nowhere near anything. Tonight's feature film.
The Lost World, Jurassic Park.
Jurassic Park.
There's no colon.
Subtitle.
I had to throw Jurassic Park on there for brand recognition. They didn't want people thinking it was a remake of The Lost World, which Michael Crichton used for the title of his book.
Even though there's the same logo on it.
Yeah, makes sense, huh?
Mm-hmm.
This movie.
I gotta say, this movie has some great moments in it. I much prefer the book, always have.
This is my second favorite Jurassic Park movie.
It's very little like the book, right?
It's loose. The concepts are very loose. Michael Crichton didn't even help write the first draft of the script, so it was written by someone else. And obviously, they made the second half of the book more exciting, and then they brought in a bunch of characters. So now we're finally getting Dodson in the new Jurassic World Dominion as kind of one of the villains, and he's the villain of the second book. Biosyn's trying to come and take things over, but we're talking about the movie tonight. So.
In Camp Cretaceous, one of the campers is undercover working for Biosyn.
Oh my god. Spoiler alert.
That's in like the first season that's revealed though. So
Yeah, that's old school news.
yeah, the book came out in 95. The movie came out in 97.
Was Spielberg forced to direct this or something, or he didn't want to? Was it something like that?
I'm honestly not sure on that.
I thought I heard that.
Oh, Jeff Goldblum's back as Ian Malcolm. Get Julianne Moore as Sarah Hardin. Pete Postlethwaite as Roland Tempo.
And Vince Vaughn, everyone's favorite.
As Nick Van Owen. Peter Stormare as Dieter. Richard Schiff as Eddie Carr. He's also in Deep Impact. And Volcano.
What? Both of them?
Yeah,
No.
it's weird, isn't it?
That's crazy.
And Arliss Howard. I don't know what I wrote there. As Peter Ludlow, Hammond's nephew.
And he's a prick.
Yeah, he sucks. He's a dumbass. Isla Sorna, 87 miles southwest of Isla Nublar.
We find a group of wealthy Brits on the beach.
Yeah, I never understood these people as a child because, I didn't grow up in that class. So it was like just a weird thing. I was like, who are these fucking people who are just like on their own boat with fucking being blown by their butler, basically? Like, I didn't understand that.
They have fucking...
They got a whole crew.
Yeah.
They've got like hotel quality or like chairs and tables and shit like brought off from their fucking yacht to the beach to sit in there and lounge around in.
Yeah.
And then their daughter goes and gets attacked by the compies. So...
Which, as a kid, I always thought she died. Obviously, there's a line of dialogue that's just thrown in there.
I hope
to
she
probably.
died. I hope she died. But
probably for standards and practices, so they'd be like, "Oh, it's not so worried that you're not killing a child with a dinosaur."
I googled it. I was like, "She died?" No, she didn't even die in the book.
I do like the screaming yawn transition between the mom to Ian Malcolm.
And he's in that picture backdrop of like the jungle.
Well, and that whole compy scene at the beginning is supposed to, it's loosely lifted from the beginning of the first book where the compy is killing babies in Costa Rica because somehow some of the compies got on the boat and got...
Like people babies?
Yes, like broken into a nursery and shit.
Ooh,
Like
that's
why, that's one of the reasons why I want to see a TV adaptation after Dominion that just goes back to the first book and does a faithful adaptation of how fucking dark that book is, because there's some shit in there that, they make this all fun and go lucky, and that's really a twisted-ass book.
Is Universal NBC?
It is.
It'd be on their Peacock streaming.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be a good TV show for them.
Yep. Do it R-rated, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Ian is summoned by Hammond, and we have that whole scene at the mansion, basically. We see the kids, and then you see Ludlow come from downstairs and talk shit to Malcolm, and Malcolm's like, yeah, fuck you, just because you got everyone else to sign this shit and fucking put up with your bullshit doesn't mean I'm not gonna. He's like, you signed an NDA. He's like, yeah, you covered up deaths. Fuck you.
Yeah. Yeah, so apparently there's been turmoil there with that, and I'm assuming there's a lawsuit that he wasn't supposed to talk about anything in with that NDA. But as a kid, like, I overlooked
the NDA was like something he signed before he went to the park, not after.
Not after everyone died and hilarity did not ensue. So
well, it did a little bit when the the blood-sucking lawyer.
I'm gonna have to say goodnight.
Yeah, these aren't credit cards.
The T-Rex, did he eat his credit cards?
Probably, because they were in his pocket.
Yeah.
He pitches this fucking documenting expedition, and Ian's like, "You're fucking full of shit, you fucking lunatic." In what did he say? Like 5 years, you went from capitalist to naturalist.
Mm-hmm. And it basically explains Site B really quick. Like, hey, it happened. We were growing all the dinosaurs there and then bring them over after several months of development on their own. And then, what they say, like 5 months after the disaster at the first park happened, then Hurricane Clarissa hit, and basically they had to evacuate and abandon Site B because it destroyed a bunch of stuff. Which is not entirely accurate.
What? Which part? That's Independence Day for you.
Exactly. I had to go with another...
They share quotes.
Yeah, exactly.
Must go faster.
Mm-hmm.
As a kid, I never understood. Every time I watched one of those movies, I was like, wait, I thought it was in the other one. I didn't realize it was in both, and Independence Day was just referencing Jurassic Park, basically.
Yeah. It was a little hat nod to it.
A little dick tap.
They should have created a virus to kill the dinosaurs.
You didn't take much notes, did you guys?
No, I
have
mean
to carry the fucking team here. At least plot wise.
No, plot wise, essentially, you figure out really quick that
there's dinosaurs.
There's already a team assembled.
She doesn't even have a Sega.
Exactly, Kelly. So Kelly is one of the characters in the book. In the book, it is not Ian Malcolm's daughter like it is in the movie, and there's another kid named Arby that's in the book, and he was completely removed.
Like the roast beef sandwich?
Yes.
I'm fucking tired now, man. I don't know what happened.
So we figure all this bullshit out, and obviously Kelly stows away. He's pissed at Sarah Harding for fucking sneaking off to the island, and it's got to be a rescue mission once Hammond says, hey, Sarah's already there doing research. And he's like, you son of a bitch. That's where he gets him. Like, I'm in, you son of a bitch.
That's a Rick and Morty reference.
Exactly.
Don't listen to me. He says that whole thing. She sneaks aboard.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome
I thought
aboard.
you were trying to say something.
I was gonna say I love the music in this one too. It's still really good. Like, it's different. There's a lot of different cues in there that aren't in the first one. You know, it's not just the reused themes and stuff.
Yeah, they said he deliberately only used old themes a little bit.
I like the little main theme that's like burn, 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 whatever the fuck, you know.
Yeah, it's a good callback to just having that feeling with it being fresh. The other piece of music that I really like in the score in there is when Olive Engine arrives on the island, and like they start going out and capturing. Like it's almost like the dinosaur attack music from the first movie, but it's different enough that you're like, okay, this doesn't quite have like the sinister vibes to it, but it's also like kind of carries the story that these people are shit. So they get the boat ride to the island.
The boat captain won't stay. All that whole thing.
Yeah, Vince Vaughn doing the interpretation there.
Oh, that's how all this starts. Ooh, ah. And then later there's running, screaming.
And then they have that really cheesy line, we see all the stegosaurs, and then...
Well, here's the thing, too. A lot of people criticize this movie because Ian Malcolm is a different character, but I'm like, dude, he would be fucking different character. Because time has passed and he was traumatized from being on this dinosaur island. So especially when he gets there and he's dealing with this and talking about this, thinking about this, he's fucking pissed. And he's not having this shit. And then especially once he reveals his daughter's there, that's all he's worried about, obviously. He's protecting his daughter and his
I think his character
woman,
makes sense.
his lady friend.
Well, his character's changed a lot in the book, right? Because if you read the first book, Malcolm dies in the book. And then in the second book, it's revealed that he didn't actually die. He was near death or whatever, and they thought he was dead, whatever else, you know.
Nearly dead Ian Malcolm.
Yes, so he's revived for the second book. And obviously in the movie, he didn't do that. But in the second book, he's like fucking handicapped the whole time, hobbling around.
It says something has survived on the back. It means Ian Malcolm.
Yeah. Doesn't mean the dinosaurs, you stupid bastard.
I mean, obviously they survived.
So that was my only criticism of it, is like for the severe injuries he had, like he was getting around very well. But whatever, it's fine. Like, I don't hate his character in there. He's got a whole different
I like him
set
still.
of circumstances.
But I saw this movie when I was 6 in theaters and lost my shit over it. I had the toys. This was like, I obviously didn't see the first one in theaters, so.
Yeah.
This is my Ghostbusters 2 for some people in this franchise. Like, it's borderline just as good, but obviously it's not. You know, but I love it still.
Yeah, when you break it down, it's memorable, but in a different way.
And I've heard people criticizing Nick Van Owen's character, saying he's the reason all this shit happens. I'm like, no, he's not. Ludlow is still to blame. Because if Nick Van Owen hadn't been there, most of this shit would have played out pretty similarly. At least the T-Rex arriving back there.
Yeah.
Shit like that.
Yeah, that all still would have gone down the same way, right?
I like Nick Van Owen being in there because he's an interesting character. It's like, you know, him and Eddie Carr and just introducing new people and having him be like, you know, he's a documentarian or whatever.
Yeah.
Works with Greenpeace because of women, basically. That's what he said. Some shit about there's like, Greenpeace is 80% women or something.
Yeah. But then Roland Timbo also recognizes him as being an eco-terrorist. I can't remember what group he's from. He's like, I recognize you. He's like, you're one of those idiots.
Yeah.
And then they wind up having a little bit of respect for each other later on, which is kind of interesting. Is like, you seem to kind of have your head screwed on straight, and you're like, huh.
Yeah.
And he kind of plays the role of Dodson in this the way his death scene and all that stuff is.
Who's?
Timbo.
Timbo doesn't die.
Oh, no, that's...
Ludlow?
Yeah, Ludlow.
Does Ludlow die?
Yeah, he's fed to the T-Rex.
Is that at the end?
The baby T-Rex?
Oh, yeah.
That's not Ludlow, that's...
Who is fed? Is that...
The guy with the glasses and the suit is that guy that got on the ship.
Oh, that's on the ship? I just don't remember.
Yeah, the baby T-Rex gets him.
Man, I don't remember that.
I don't remember his name, though.
Yeah.
Ludlow.
So Ludlow got fed to the...
That's Hammond's nephew, the main guy who's...
So he's the one that got fed to the baby.
Yeah, so some of these characters that got removed from the movie version of this, their characters wind up being condensed into others in this.
So you have the classic speech, though, when they're riding around in this thing. Roland, Tembo, and Ludlow. And Ludlow's sitting in the back, and he's like talking on the radio, and he's like, "Let's set up camp here. It looks great. Blah blah blah. I want to camp up in 2 hours, or whatever the fuck he says." And Tembo's like, "Cancel that order, unless you want to be eaten alive," and all this shit, basically.
Yeah, he basically says he's a dumb
This is a
man.
game trail when predators hunt here. And then he basically lays out I'm fucking in charge here, and when I'm not around, Dieter is. And he also says
that's when he gives
another thing, my fee. You can keep it. All I want from my fee is a right to hunt one of the tyrannosaurs. A male, a buck. How and why are my own reasons.
He's gonna fuck it.
Yeah, he is.
Mm-hmm.
He already fucked that baby T-Rex.
Be the only human ever to fuck a dinosaur. Why wouldn't you?
That's a record you don't want to have. I'm one of the only guys that ever took my skate off and tried to stab somebody.
I mean, imagine trying to get into some velociraptor pussy, and then you get that claw. There was a whole trend in the Jurassic Park raptor posting group with people joking about fucking the nostrils of dinosaurs. So they'd be posting tons of shitty photoshopped pictures with dinosaurs with cum coming out of their nostrils and shit.
God,
it was fucking ridiculous, man.
They just need to shut the
shit
internet
posting
down.
is awesome.
So the toy line for this movie is getting some love now with the Legacy collection. For the Amber collection, the only thing that ever came from this line was the baby Tyrannosaur that they released. Fun fact.
What the fuck?
They also did release, I think, a Legacy collection version of a baby T-Rex as well that I want to get.
Mm-hmm. I had the old school T-Rex from...
They have
movie.
the Ian Malkin of the Hammond collection out now, as well as a Velociraptors.
Yeah, I saw
and
the Raptor of the
I'm pretty
Hammond
sure they have a
collection.
Parasaurolophus, and it's big.
It's, more closer to the size.
Which doesn't make any sense for their scales.
I think it's supposed to be full grown or something.
It's inconsistent. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, Mattel's up for sale right now too, which is kind of funny. But they're really fucking this line up in certain
Hopefully
ways.
Elon Musk doesn't buy it and fuck that up too, right?
He's just hoarding wealth and fucking doing evil villain shit. So
we're gonna get Donald Trump back on Twitter. That's all this man's gonna accomplish, basically. Shit like
free
that.
speech on there. You're like
Free speech. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Fucking lame.
They get the camp set up. What's the famous paleontologist does his cameo here, talking about the Pachycephalosaurus? When it's straighten its head out. He's like, it goes down to its spine.
That's 9 inches of solid bone.
Yeah. You need to put that on the soundboard.
Right.
But that's a real famous paleontologist. In the first movie, they reference a similar name that's not his. I'm terrible for forgetting it right now, but I'm old.
Sorry, it's kind of a ride. I like the sad music during the dino takedowns.
Mm-hmm.
It's too cheesy.
It is.
I get you need a sad vibe, but it's cheesy as fuck. I mean, it makes me laugh, even though I do feel bad for the dinosaurs and identify with these characters. It still makes me laugh. Tembo's like, all right, camp set up. I'm going after T-Rex. And he's like, oh, okay. Then you see our first dead dinosaur of the series, I think. Which is just a dead corpse sitting there outside the Rex nest.
Oh, yeah, you can't even tell what it is.
And then you see in the Rex nest, and there's the baby and Rex eating something else, too.
Mm-hmm.
And the baby's crying, and they're watching. They set up a trap face, basically. Nick explains that he's the backup plan.
Paul pairs out the pair of bolt cutters he just got.
And then they go and let loose some dinosaurs while these motherfuckers have them captured.
While assholes doing
his little presentation,
his little satellite video to investors. Andy abandoned this park for something much more grand.
Park?
Now, that was one of the things that's different from the book. They never go to the mainland in the book. It's kind of fun for a third act of a movie.
I love it. That's like...
that's all anyone wants to see.
Honestly, you could probably cut a good 15 minutes out of this movie and make it really good. It's just slightly too long. But most of that comes is right before they leave the island, yeah.
And right before they leave the island is it, because that raptor stuff kind of drags out, even though it goes...
the gymnastics and the raptor kicking and shit, oh, that fucking sucks dick. That's the worst part of the movie.
Another scene in this... So the T-Rex, when it sticks its tongue through the waterfall to try to eat him, that's a whole scene in the first book. And there's 2 T-Rexes in the first book. There's the junior T-Rex that isn't full grown, and then there's the Rex that we all know and love. And that scene's lifted from that. So it's lifted from the first book. So, like, there's plenty of shit that was cut from the book or wasn't put in there that they're still splicing in, like frog DNA throughout these franchises.
So then they take the baby Rex back. Nick saves it. And they take it back to the camper. Meanwhile, they find the locks clipped. And
we're not the only ones here.
Yeah, it means we're not alone or whatever. I'm like, my first thought wouldn't be that. It would be like one of these motherfuckers is undercover. Wouldn't you think? But it's a movie, and they know that that's how the plot is. So
they do know. They read the script. So
yeah. Well, maybe. Yeah. So the Rex is roaring, and they get a motherfucker in there, and they're trying to work on him. And Ian Malcolm, surprisingly, is like, "This is a bad idea," and then just doesn't give a fuck. And then Kelly's the one who freaks out, and he takes her to the hide. You get high and you hide. He's probably up there getting high, and let's be honest.
Probably.
I would be. I'd be like, this is fucking crazy. There's dinosaurs and shit. Look at that fucking T-Rex. Oh my god.
Yeah, there's 2 of them. They're gonna kill everybody.
They're gonna kill everybody. He's gonna kill everybody. What is that even from?
Batman.
Oh.
Vicky Vale.
Yeah, that's right. Where she suddenly has a weird accent.
Uh-huh. Exactly.
Just really high-pitched.
So, then we get the insane T-Rex scene, which is pretty cool. It's a good attack, you know. They let the baby out, and then
Mommy's very angry.
Eddie Carr's like, "Hey, they're coming back," and then Ian's like, "Hold on
to something." And then they slowly push him off the cliff.
And
since it's attached, like the one part's keeping them on the cliff, but they're hanging off of it. And then she falls and lands on the glass and shit. Doesn't break, but
it's a very tense moment. Like, it holds up pretty well, but
it's a great fucking scene. Yeah.
Yeah, the tension there, like as a kid, though, was always like, "Oh fuck, they're gonna die here."
I remembered the lines about them when Eddie finally shows up, and they're like trying to they joke about ordering burgers and shit.
And Eddie is able to successfully use.
He saves him.
The cable on his car, unlike Nedry in the first film.
That guy's a pro. Eddie Carr. Rip. That guy's an OG hero, and he's dead. And usually they don't kill many heroes types in these movies.
No, so that was a fact from this film, is that he was, when they were filming it, they said, "No, we're not going to kill you." And then he was insisting. He's like, "No, we need to die, because if my character dies, then they're really considering that Ian Malcolm could die." So if you kill kind of one of those main characters that's competent.
Yeah.
So I mean it. I can see either way for it. It makes sense. But yeah, he was one of those badasses. You're like, "Oh, fuck. That sucks."
He's just a quirky little fun dude, and you see him other shit, and you're like, all right, cool, I like this guy. And he has the high hide, and he knows technology, so you're kind of like, yeah, that's cool. I get it. Yeah, and then that motherfucker gets torn in half by the T-Rexes.
They'll do a little wishbone with him. Snap him in two.
Spit roast. Eddie Carr.
The spit roast of Eddie Carr.
And then Timbo and the group save them from the cliff. They pull them up. And he says something about the T-Rex just fed.
And he's like, "Jesus Christ, that's our friend you're talking about."
Jesus Christ, Walter.
It is interesting that they save him, even though they could have just let him fucking die. But, I mean, it does show the humanitarian part of him, even though, they're pissed off. They still don't want the deaths on their hands. So
the Everest quote I hate. where he's like, "Why do you want to kill a fucking T-Rex?" And he's like, "Well, a man went up to Everest, you see, and he didn't bring any breathing stuff with him. And then when he came back down, somebody said, 'Why did you go up there to die?' And he said, 'I didn't. I went up there to live.' And then he walks away. You're like, that has nothing to do with killing a T-Rex. What the fuck are you on about, you old crazy fucking lunatic?"
Yep. And then they call in the support team, or they need to call in the support team, so they realize, like, hey, it's all geothermal here for power. Which technically is correct. Geothermal power is, I mean, in the book it explains a little bit more that the volcanic heat and steam is what they use to generate electricity on the island, so that's why there's still power to everything. So, which is a form of geothermal energy.
They take a break, and Dieter tells Carter he'll be right back. But Carter's not listening because he's listening to Mexican music.
He is.
And then we get Dieter versus the Compies.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty sure his action figure, I think you had it at one point, and it had like a big fucking taser style like thing with it that would click open.
Oh, yeah.
It was much bigger and weirder, like an oversized...
Well, like every weapon that ever came with the toy was like gigantic.
Yeah.
And it had to have some sort of net or string attached to it.
So you wouldn't choke on it.
Yeah. So you could fish it out of your mouth if it went down.
Lightsabers, bitch.
Is that what you choked on?
That was Nick's first dildo.
And that was what I first sounded with.
Wait, one of those like ones that's the chopstick style? They have chopsticks lightsabers?
No, I was talking about toys.
Yeah, but I don't think you could possibly do that without splicing open your dog.
What?
He said he sounded with his lightsaber. I don't think it's physically possible.
Oh,
what? You don't think that's possible? Those little lightsaber toys are so
Oh,
small.
I thought you meant like one of the role play ones.
Oh,
Like,
Jesus Christ.
Jesus.
No, we're talking about action figures.
Oh, okay. You had me worried for a second. I was like, Jesus Christ, Walter.
That goes in your ass, maybe.
Well, that's why I said it was Nick's first dildo.
I see. I have seen fleshlights made out of lightsaber hilts, though. That's pretty dope.
Yeah. May the force be with you.
That's a popular item, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
Probably. Anyway, so back to Jurassic World.
That was their father's flashlight.
You just think of that whole speech.
Your father wanted you to have it, but your uncle wouldn't allow it.
Did he clean it? Did he clean it? Got your dad's spunk
You're
in
sick,
it.
Marv. You know that? You're sick.
Jesus.
It's amazing because then, after he dies while shitting, that's a terrible way to go. Like, you just got to drop a deuce and you get killed.
Who?
When the whole reason he gets killed by those compies is because... I sound like Eddie Cartwright in there, when his voice cracks in the movie a few times.
How come Hammond sent 2 teams?
2 teams! That's me every day. I'm the Eddie
It
Cartwright.
says engine on the side of that chopper.
That's funny.
Then the T-Rex attacks the camp. It's like sniffing around in the tent. That seems kind of cool. And then the one guy sees it and fucking screams, and the T-Rex is like, all right, I guess I'm eating people. Fucking shit up, stepping on people. It's chaos. Nick Van Owen escapes with Sarah and Kelly behind the waterfall, and you have that scene, and then the paleontologist gets eaten because he fucking has a snake crawl onto his shirt.
Oh, yeah, down in the water.
There was an action figure of him, too.
Nice. Well, he has that fucking long hair and shit.
He's iconic looking.
Yeah.
And he's the one person on that side that from the beginning you think is at least not a complete dickhead because he's smart.
He's there for the educational purposes of it. Yeah.
9 inches of solid bone.
That's what he brought.
Yeah, it is.
He brought the skull with him.
When my penis... My vertebrae works in such a way that I can slide back and my penis can actually move forward and in line with my vertebrae. You put 12,000 pounds of pressure behind it. Or whatever he says.
Then we get to the raptor shit.
Yeah, the raptors in the field. That's an interesting scene, but... And then they move to the raptors in the center, and that's the bad part.
Well, the raptors completely take over here, and you're completely lost of everything else, right? So, it just felt so.
What they should have done is cut out the T-Rex from there and just had that. I guess at the waterfall you have to have that, but have Velociraptors at the camp and cut out the rest of the Velociraptor shit. This would be a fucking A+ movie.
To me, that was the whole scene that made this kind of drag out, is the raptor stuff. You're like, okay, because the whole attack is like, just let them get there and call that in, because then it gets exciting again. That's the 15 to 20 minutes that just kind of feels like it's dragged out and misplaced. Now, in the book, there's a significant portion of the raptors, but they're a recurring theme throughout. So, like, it makes more sense to cut back and forth. And here it's, like, forced in, like, oh, we got to have the raptors, fan favorite thing. And you're like, no, you don't need it.
You could have just inserted them, like I said, into that other shit, but...
Yeah.
And then, of course, you get the T-Rex, and I do like the boat where they're like, yeah, it's just fucking coming.
That
and
was
it doesn't
a fucking
stop.
amazing
It's cool.
scene, yeah.
There's things that could be cut out of this ending sequence too, because at this point you're just dragging on so long. It feels like, what the fuck, a little bit. But you're still there for this scene because it's much more exciting than the last 20 minutes.
Well, the problem with that whole portion of this, right, is after the Velociraptor sequence, you're like, okay, we're getting towards the end of the movie. They're going to get on the island. It's going to go, they're getting off of there. And then it's like, oh, by the way, we're not ending this movie. So that's why it feels so fucking drawn out, because to get there and to set up the whole T-Rex running rampant on the island or on San Diego is
What's
crazy.
up with people killing dogs in movies? Because you know what? Both of these movies that I watched last night, a dog dies in.
Yes.
And both of them, try to kill a child in the beginning, as Nick pointed out.
Mm-hmm.
One of them does it successfully.
Yeah, one of them's not afraid to fucking...
You ever seen Assault on Precinct 13?
Which one?
The original. John
I
Carpenter.
haven't seen the original.
There's a scene where a guy with a revolver, I'm pretty sure, there's a girl who approaches an ice cream truck and gets ice cream. She's eating ice cream on the sidewalk, and he just fucking shoots her right in the fucking face. It's fucking brutal as fuck. I'm like, God damn.
Yeah, they don't do that shit in movies anymore.
John Carpenter, though. Check that movie out if you haven't seen it. I've never seen the remake, but...
John Carpenter's not afraid to fuck around with film, though.
Yeah. Well, the theme songs for it is awesome, too. The T-Rex gets there, gets loose.
Yeah, we find out that it's killed, which this is another portion of this movie that doesn't make sense because the T-Rex is locked down below.
I think there are supposed to be other dinosaurs, weren't there? But there's not, and it's kind of confusing.
Well, they don't ever explain that, right? Because the captain of the ship's dead from a dinosaur. He's like dismembered, right?
There's blood in the...
Well, you see like a hand holding onto the steering wheel, and that's it. But you're like, okay, what killed that? Because the T-Rex couldn't have got his head in there without destroying the whole fucking portion of that.
Yeah, it's a little weird.
And they don't imply that they killed any velociraptors or that the T-Rex ate the velociraptors or anything. So it's just silly. And then why is everyone there at port, right? Because if they were coming to San Diego from that, everyone else probably would have flown and not been on a boat from Engine. So, like, Ian's character and all those other folks that are kind of...
I think they went there on purpose, though, Ian and them.
I mean, yeah, they do a piss-poor job of explaining that to you, though.
Well, for sure, because it's just kind of like, whatever. I do like most of this stuff, but again, there's a couple things you could have cut out of there, but I do like the ending sequence of this movie, and like I said, this one holds up for me as the second best in the franchise. Yeah, that's about all I have to say about that.
That's all I got to say about that.
And even the ending of this is just kind of boring. Like, they randomly capture the T-Rex, and then they have to fucking shoehorn in the cheesiest fucking shot in the franchise here, right? Where they show the T-Rexes with the baby Rex in harmony standing next to a bunch of other dinosaurs on the island while the pterodactyl flies around too, and you're like, so you're already showing that the dinosaurs can get off the island if there's a flying dinosaur.
Maybe his range is limited.
So that was...
Well, they do that in Jurassic Park 3, too. There's dinosaurs set free at the end of Jurassic Park 3.
Yeah, because the pterodactyls are in the cage, which is actually another sequence.
Are those even pterodactyls? Are they pterodons or something, too?
Could be, but
I'm
either
not
way.
sure, but yeah.
In the first book, that's a huge sequence. Is that what that scene was? It was lifted and put in the third movie, because the third movie is basically a lot of scraps.
Yeah, the aerial cage is in the first book.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because it was one of the features that they were supposed to tour as part of the island opening. Which, I mean, it makes sense, right? The first movie is basically cinematic gold. It's fucking perfect start to finish. Drastically different than the book, but holds up very well for the adaptation.
Drastically different?
Exactly, something like that. Drastically different.
I'd eat giraffes.
You'll get your ass licked. Kicked.
Giraffes licked park.
Yeah. I just thought of the Wayne's World parody, because, you know, in Wayne's World 2, when the T-Rex scares them when they're at the park, it would be called Wang and Girth. That would be the porno parody.
Wayne's World?
Yeah. Wang and Girth.
Wang's World.
Wang's World with Wang and Girth.
Is Wang played by a white guy still?
It's a porn parody, so it doesn't fucking matter. I don't know. You never even really see his face, just the wig.
What is he, Cousin It?
You gotta find somebody that's like ambiguously with a skin tone. You just don't know.
I don't know what that means.
You can't identify the race just by their skin tone. You'd have to see other identifiable features.
I'm gonna have to say goodnight.
Alec doesn't understand.
Yeah.
Just play the outro, you son of a bitch.
I'm trying. I'm looking for the button so I can just shut this off. Shut this all off.
Yeah, so Lost World Jurassic Park. Pretty damn good, but could be better.
All right. Oh, I guess that's it.
Well, that is it. I thought you were gonna
Playing the music.
I am, but
play
you know.
Walter Pecker. Lick your pecker. Lick it in the tip.
Shut this off. Shut these all off.